Hey everyone, and welcome back to part 16 of our Tunic playthrough. Last time we went on a little quest around a few places, came across some pieces of the golden obelisk, or a piece in the western garden, and now we are going to head out to find the final piece, which I totally remember where it is, etc, etc. And it should just be along here. Granted, I should have just come here in the night time. Actually, maybe I'm going to have to, but daytime, maybe there's another way around, or down. Oh, let's see. Actually, I'm going to have to be a bit sneakier about this. We'll have to teleport across here. Go down this ladder. So now as we approach, we should see, just there, a giant piece of an obelisk. So let's make a note of some of the fracture points in that. Okay, got the rough shape. Now let's put down the actual lines on it. Okay, so that should link in quite nicely with a, where is it? Will it link in nicely with that piece? I think it links in with that piece there. Muttering to myself while I try and piece together a fake obelisk. Yeah, that should go there. So gonna have to draw these all out again. So in the meantime, rather than do that, we're gonna have a little look around this area, see if there's anything that we've found or that we're able to access now that we couldn't before. I think there's a chest somewhere out in the side, so we're gonna wander around a bit. Yeah, there's a chest there. Probably could have accessed that even when we were dead or in the nighttime. Oh. Oh, those are fun people, aren't they? Oh, he got launched into oblivion. Well, not quite oblivion, but certainly nowhere nice. It's funny because now the graveyard is blocked and we can't get through to him. Don't think there's anything else to gain from being here. We could actually maybe go across the... do we have the shortcut over here? Oh, we do. Actually, while we're here, I don't think we can do anything from this particular location. But there is a chest you may remember that was in the cathedral that we couldn't access before. So we're going to go and do that while we're here. Have a little rest, which annoyingly might well bring back those two guys. Yep. Maybe the other one's not going to care so much. Okay, bunch of enemies about. You'll notice there were these skulls as well. We're not actually going to worry too much about any of these. We're just going to be real unsubtle and just run away from everything. Well, that's a terrifying notion, isn't it? Fortunately, we don't have that fella's attention just yet. Oh. We can get that chest finally though. Oh, I think that might be enough to give us another potion, and sure enough, there it is. A lot easier to take these guys on now that we've got our powers back. Ooh, hello there, sir. We're just going to ignore you. We'll have a little rest there, why not? Was it through here? Yeah, I think it was through here. Oh, we might have come the wrong route actually. You can see the chest there, and you can actually see something on the back wall, which I don't think we can actually reach. This is a bit foolish of us, but we decided to oh, that was an alarming noise, wasn't it? We're just going to get ourselves out of there. Ow. What we forgot that we need to do is to open that door with the Holy Cross at night time and then come back here during the daytime. So instead, we're just going to run past all of these enemies and get out of here. We'll go and get our last fairy, because this is not one of them. Unfortunately, they are slightly too slow for me. As is this guy. Can't catch me, I'm the gingerbread man. Okay, so we've got everything we need to go and get our final fairy. So we're going to head up there now. I think we can actually just head through this way, which is a slightly easier way. Didn't mean to do that. Might not be slightly easier, but nonetheless, we'll go through here. I don't think it's any quicker going up there. Running past all sorts of enemies. I'll probably just have a little think about this now, so I'm going to hit pause and then resume when I've come to a conclusion. Just going to redraw down all of the pieces that we have, because now we should hopefully be able to piece them together in a bit of a nicer fashion. Okay, so after piecing a lot of bits together, on a bit of trial and error, or rather thinking about how things would fit together. If we take this bottom piece, that directly links onto the penultimate piece we found with the starting point in it, because you've sort of got that same cutting point along the bottom of that as you do the top here. That then links into that last piece we found with far more directions. It cuts into the top left of it. Then you've got to rotate, well, maybe not rotate, just rotate compared to where I put it down. One final piece before the, or one next piece before the final piece, which is also, I think, upside down compared to the way we drew it out. Obviously, all of that's going to mean absolutely nothing without some visual clues in front of you, so I might try and get some bits edited up, but to be honest, that sounds like a lot of work that I can't be bothered to do. So instead, I'm going to take that finalized sequence and just pop it into the sequence assistance. And that way we can check that it's actually correct. Felt like I pressed or heard myself press something twice there, but that seems to have been right. And now that's that one free, and we can check our page here. We are now at 100%, so I think we want to go back to the fairy spring, see if we've got anything there for us. Once again, we're just going to ignore everyone. They can't use ladders anyway, so we're pretty safe. We want to go back to the main village. I think that is the closest point. He was certainly surprised. Unfortunate for him. Oh, we can just run straight past these guys. Into, I believe this is the one. Ah, and you can see we've got two things here. So if we open up this chest, we've got one of the funky trophies that we've been searching for, and we've also got a page. So this has got some of the, well, that's the final page of the manual. Now let's just check through, see if we're missing any pages, because I think we might, I mean, I've not really been keeping track. I think we're at least very close to having all of the pages available to us. 34, 30. Three, two. Oh, we're missing the front page. Do we need the front page actually? Just thinking. So our next goal that gets alluded to, where is it? There was a page that told us the next sort of steps that we need to be taking. It might have been earlier on, so I'm just flicking back and forth through things. Definitely was earlier on. No, it wasn't that. Won't be any of the map pages, so sorry for flicking through all of these very quickly. No, it wasn't that. Sometimes I swear I just imagine pages, or maybe I'm just skipping through them too quickly to really pay attention to what's going on. Oh, this was the page. So now we're at 22. We've got Door in the Mountains, Hero's Grave, Holy Cross, etc., etc. So if we have a flick through to that mountain door page, you can see the one of the numbers up there. So we've got a 5x5 grid, 25 pages on there. But the one that's missing is number 1, which is the page that we don't have. I believe we've got page number 2, that is this one here. So now we can go and tackle the mountain door, which, to be honest, is a bit of a tricky one. You're gonna once again need your pen and paper and skills of observation, but it's actually also, we can just skip past them, maybe we can't. It's actually also a whole guide in itself as to how to deal with the mountain door. So those guys were flicking about all weird. So we might, well, we'll see how we get on. I'll do some explaining once we get up there. And then we can potentially just skip over bits and pieces of the actual explanation while we write things down. Or we may just go through it all in real time. So let's get up there, and then I'm probably going to spend a little bit of time just writing out everything, or on a new page of paper, everything we need. So we are at the mountain door. As you can see, we've got a very bored fox there. And now we need to make a 5x5 grid of all of our options there. I'm going to make one with a small number in the corner of each, indicating what page we need to look at for them. And we're going to get pretty wild in here. So remember that you are starting at the bottom in the middle, and that leads up into our first square. So it's probably best to go through this page by page and try and find the answer, or try and find the route as we go. So starting with page number 12, smack bang in the middle there, we're going to go back to that. And we're looking for any hints of a red cross. Now, or rather holy cross, and if you have a close look there, you can see we've got a square that has a up left and a down right coming into it. So if you want to make a note of that and be quite, or at least relatively accurate with whereabouts those lines are exiting your squares, because it will help things along the way. And it may actually, I should have done I've not done my noting of where every page is. So that's number 12. We've got 16. Bear with me while I write these all down. I want to make sure I don't get these wrong, because that would really throw things off. So once again, I'm writing these very small, or these page numbers very small in the corner of each page. And you could tell just from the first page that we looked at there that it's going to be very complicated, because we've got multiple lines overlapping in one box, so you can imagine it's going to be pretty much the same throughout. Okay, so I've made a note of all of those. Let's head back to page 16, and you can see in the background there we've got 15 is somewhere else on our board, so we don't need to worry about that just yet, I don't believe. Yeah, that's further along. So 16, you've got it starting in the top left, it comes through and down here, and then it will go right and up and left. So that enters about midway through the page and exits in the top left. So we will make a note of that. Then, for the sake of continuing on the path as we follow it, we won't go to page 15, we'll instead go to 34. And now if you have a look here, you can see about 2/3 the way up on the right hand side, you've got it entering, going down, left, up, right, and then up through the center of the page. So let's make a note of that. And our next one is page 46. If we go here, you can see just from the box there, or from the book rather, we've got a line coming out. It's not incredibly clear whereabouts that line ends, but it does go out to the right, which will be into page 28. So we'll just go with that. And on to page 28. Right, this is, there is a line there. So that one links on to our 46, goes down, right, up, left and up, and that goes into page 22, which, let's see, we've got a few bits of gold on here, and I can't remember what is the correct one. So I've got down and right, down, okay. That one I'm gonna hold on to now, or for now rather, and we'll come back to that, I believe, just because I'm not 100% certain. I think you would probably go from this top bit, you'd say right down, left down, right down, which would, let's make a note of that, I suppose. I'll just put it on a separate bit rather than committing to it right now. And we've also got it going out left here, so not too sure if those are going to count as doubles. We'll have a little think about that later, because that could be a double left there, but that means it's going out to the left hand side of the page at the very least, and that comes into 15, which we have it coming in at the top right of the page, then down, left, up, right, up. So we'll make a note of that. It sort of goes up just to the left of the center to get out of it. And that would put us on 27. Oh, gone way too far there. And 27, here we have a bit more of a clear indicator. It's just a straight line upwards with the horizontal line going through it, indicating it's a double, and that goes up into 48, where we've got our favorite little spell to use. So we'll make a note of that again. So that's up, left, up, right, down, right. That goes into number 11. And that's quite an easy one there. You can see it right there. The path that we need to go with is right, down, right, up, right, and down, which will take us down into 21. And I'm assuming it's going to take us quite far along into 21, but maybe I'm wrong with that. Okay, 21. We've got this golden piece here, which goes down, left, down, right. So that can be, I don't think we've got any other golden looking things here. So we will go with that. Down, left, down, right. And that would take us into page number 4. So we're going to go all the way back to the start. Page number 4, we've got this here, which is a right, up, and then into the square above, which is square 2, and then a down right. So we will go with that. And then we'll have a look at page number 2, which you can see nicely links into that with an up, a right with a double on it, and a down. So that means if we're back with page 4, we go into page 50. Oop, way too far again. And page 50, I think you can see some hints of gold in the lines here, but I'm not sure if that is right. I think we've got 2 lines there, so I think we've got it coming in on the right and going all the way up to the top, and then we've got another line coming in and doing a little loop there. So we'll make a note of those. And that will take us up into page 6, wrong direction. And on page 6 we have this here, which takes us up, right, down and right. And that will take us into page 52. So it's very helpfully sending us to the front and back of this, but it's not like it takes much effort to do this. And then in the top right here, you can see we've got a right, up, right, but it's got a line across it, so that's going to be a double. And then a down, left, and down. So let's make a note of that rather. Remember that double on the top line, but there's not one on the others. Then it's over to page 42. And here we see a, that's the only bit in gold, but I can't think that's right. So I think, let's see, how does 42 make sense? Okay. I think it's very sneaky here in some of the colouring, so you can notice in the background between some of these boxes you've got some gold coming down and then left, and it disappears, which would go into that other part of page 50, and it comes back out here and down. That appears to be the only bit, so we'll fill that in, but it's nice and reassuring that that links into what page 50 would have been. And now we're heading to page 33. And here we've got some clouds there, which will link into this with a down, right, down, and double left. That takes us into page 31. And here we've got a little note on the wall there with a left, down, right, down. And that will take us into page 40. Hope this isn't boring you too much. This one is Rogue. So you'll see there's a couple of random coffee stains in here, which happen to conveniently highlight just this bit of a line that's coming off of the cathedral map. So that's a down, left, down, right, up, right, down, right. And we'll make, once again, a note of that. And that will take us into page 18. Not actually too far from the end here, but we do want to go back and maybe confirm something. Okay, so page 18, what are you saying? It's theoretically going to have to end with some sort of down, but you've got the gold banner across the top. Nope, I'm just being blind. It's very sneaky and it's in here. So we've got this coming in from the right, up, right with a double and down. So right, up, right with a double and down. That takes us into page 44. And here, I believe we're looking at the very highlighted bit that's up here, which is going to be a down with a double by the looks of it. And then a left, up, right, up, left. So we'll try and do that. And then we're into page 39. 39, I think, yeah, so maybe a little deceptive with this red line here. Instead, we're going to be looking at this gold line across the top. So in from the right, it goes left, down, left, up, left. And that quite conveniently links into page 12, which then links into page 9. There it is. So this one is wild, we'll say, just wild. So here you can see sort of a set of instructions. We're going to have to save the game with this, but you can see you've got your options at the main menu there: continue, new game, options, and load game. Then save data. Then it says if you go into save data, you've got some saves there. And you go on to load, and then on to delete. And then I think it wants you to back out of it. Not too sure. And then when you go back, so let's have a little look. I mean, this is also going to show that I've got some other saves about. File number 1, press delete and then back out. So let's have a little quit to title screen. And then if we go on to load game, and then if we press that, I don't like having to do that. Let's first of all, we're going to delete this one because we don't need it, but you can see right there it had a confirmation of deletion. So if we click on our top save file, press delete, and then cancel out of that, you could see we just had a 5th game file appear below the others. So we're just going to get rid of that and demonstrate that again. So this is following the page that says you click on the top file. I don't know if it works with others. It does indeed. So if you just go onto any file, click delete and then back out of it, you will get this very suspicious file here. If we load it up, looks real rogue. We've got a lucky coin, we've got a load of magic, and we've got very limited items, loads of money, etc, etc. And what you can notice about the floor, much like in the Wizard of Oz, it's paved with gold. So we're going to follow this direction. It goes up, left, up, right, with a double on it. And then up. And I think this is just going to repeat now. Oh no, then left, then up. Okay. And then if we go through here, it takes us back to the beginning. So to confirm, we should have left, up, double right, and then up, and then left and up. These are just things that you can shatter for no good reason. I think you can go backwards through it. Does it have the things come back? No, it doesn't. So that is our note, shall we say, on that page. So if that was confusing, then that's fine because it is a very weird thing. But our takeaway from that is that we've got an up, left, up, right with a double, up, left, and up. And that takes us into page 55, which I don't know what pages we've got on here. Sort of a random selection of them. I'm sure people have hyperanalyzed all of these things to give you a bit more information on it. By the way, we are going to load the game and go back into, we are save number 4 because it's the only one with 28 pages and not more. I think these ones are just like other save files where I've completed it or not. Looks as though I've got just about as much as I can have compared to my other files, which is good. Nice to know. And we're back here. Sure enough, we've got still 2 of those to go. We've got the same cards equipped, so this is definitely the right save. Going to be hard to remember that when all the pages have been collected. Either way, we'll just get back up to the door for the sake of it. Okay, and then our final page is number 55, which you can see right there. It's just an up into the end. So I'm just going to have a little look at page 22 again, because I want to try and make sure I am correct on what is on that page. So there's no sign of a double, to be honest, so I think I'm going to abandon the thought of that and just take it as is, as a up, left, up, right, up, left. If there is a double, then we will try that code, but we'll try it without the double first, and this is going to be where the sequence assister or assistance is very handy. because this is a lot of things to input, so we're just going to go with it. And once again, if we get to the end of this, feel free to, or when we get to the end of this, feel free to pause it and make a note of the code yourself so that you can input it in your game if you are following along in game. So we're just moving through into page 31 and down into 40, along into 18, 44. I'm just skipping a bit and that should be the end. And that's a full sequence, which is also interesting. I believe that's probably intentional. And sure enough, it didn't have the double on page 22. And that is the mountain door opening. Well, that was a hell of a ride. We should definitely wrap things up shortly, but we need to see what's at the top of the mountain, really. You may have suspected what would be up here. It's the front page with a nice little message about how we've come a long way. And yeah, we've stumbled across a hidden trophy room. If this is your final page, you should pay a visit to a certain someone and share your wisdom. And then they thank you for playing. So we're sort of in the final stage of things, and just as a note, maybe we should actually go and do that now. The same battle for uncountable times, and if we remember back to our almost end pages, we've got two options: to take your rightful place and to share your wisdom. Don't think we can actually pray here to teleport. It is just a other place. So we're going to head back down the mountain, get ourselves to a teleporter, and go and share our knowledge with a special someone. Promptly ignoring any enemies along the way. And if we have a rest, they're going to get off our backs. So we'll head down to the teleporter in the village. Okay, well, not quite everyone you need to kill, but there we have that done now. We can get ourselves, oh, thought I'd pressed A then, but apparently not. Now, let's just go and confirm that our special someone is not up here. So they are still broken from their chains, which means they can only be one place. We've seen this before. But not quite like this. And that's the end of the game, Tunic. Nice little twist at the end there, with us sharing knowledge with the other fox, them realizing, I suppose, that they've been part of a game and you can break that cycle, and you've released them from their torment and they can have a little party together. That is the good ending of the game. The alternative is what the option A was on those previous pages that showed you repeating the cycle where you fight against the air and you become the air itself, get locked in, and you can still get that ending. So once this gets through the credits, you can go back to the save and you'll be at that point just before going and releasing the air. And instead you can attack the air and go through that final fight. And that would happen if you hadn't collected all pages, or you can do it in this state where you've got all the pages but you just go and initiate combat. You have a whole boss fight, which is a pretty difficult one, unsurprisingly. And if you succeed, then that is the conclusion of the game. But you, instead of having that nice ending where we've got the two foxes sat next to each other watching TV and hanging out, instead all of those little vistas it takes you through have no foxes in them and they're just empty, just images of it, and I think you get quite somber music over the top of it instead. And so I think you could say what we've got here is the true ending, and you've got the bad ending with the other one. I think either way you can do a new game plus where you keep all of your upgrades and bombs. You do lose your swords and magical items until the relevant point in the game, but as far as I can remember you do still have like all of your HP and everything upgrades, which means you can end up after several runs having crazy stats. But yeah, that's the end of the game really. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and there we have the developers thanking you for playing. It's a very nice amount of time taken up there. Seem to nail that almost perfectly. And there we have New Game Plus, copy save and carry most items into New Game. And if we hit start with that or A with that, then we find ourselves on the beach. And we'll just have a little evaluation here. Oh, it does seem like you keep pretty much all of your items, or at least a good deal of them. You've got, you don't have the laurels, you don't have the first 3 bits done, as in like you've not rung the bells or got the bits to unleash the air, but you do have all of the items you previously got. And as I said, you've got all of the upgrades as well. So they obviously cost more and more as you go. But yeah, that is the end of the game Tunic. We've not done 100%, so there's definitely more secrets to unveil, but that's where I'm going to end this playthrough. And if you are interested in seeing some of the other secrets within it, then please let me know. I'd be more than happy to dive in and complete some of the other secrets within it and guide you through that. But that is everything for this time. So if you've enjoyed it, then please leave a like, subscribe, and check out some of my other videos. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.